Howdy everyone, it's Sam. Welcome to the Wobble Enjoy Sports channel. If you're new around here, hope I can get you to consider to like the content and subscribe to the channel. But if you are a regular around these here parts, thank you very much for the continuous support. Fair income, you got better luck blindfolding yourself and throwing darts to try and decide a winner than actually trying to analyse who the hell's going to win week to week in the NFL this year. Fair income. In any event, let's get stuck into week number 8 of the 2023 NFL season. Week 8 starts on Friday morning or Thursday night football over in the United States from Highmark Stadium. Buffalo Bills host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. On Sportsbet, the Bucs are $4.45. The Bills are $1.21. This will be just the 13th meeting between the two franchises, and Tampa Bay have the overall head-to-head record at 8 wins to 4. This is the first meeting between the two since 2021. On that occasion, Tampa Bay won in Florida. Tampa Bay have never won in Buffalo. Yet, it is only the franchise's third ever visit. And their first trip was way back in 2009. So this is a very rare flight up north. And this is their first trip to Buffalo since 2017 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Bucs, they went down to the Atlanta Falcons last weekend right on the buzzer. And you've got the Buffalo Bills, who they're suffering injuries defensively primarily, and they lost to the Patriots in New England last weekend. And you might be able to chalk that down to a loss in a divisional rivalry game, but there's just something wrong about the Bills. But I'm going to tip that they can score more points than the Bucs. I think this will be close, but I'm going to go the Buffalo Bills to win this game 1-13. Into Sunday football we go, or Monday morning football here in Australia. First up, we've got the Commanders hosting the Eagles. On Sportsbet, Washington, D.C. are $3.37. The Eagles are $1.33. This matchup will be the 180th meeting between the two franchises, and Washington Commanders have the lead at the moment at 89-84, with 6 draws thrown in there as well. Washington, D.C. have not defeated the Eagles at home since 2020, but over the past couple of games, the Commanders have given the Eagles massive amounts of curry, especially earlier this year, where they nearly upset Philadelphia in Philadelphia. Game went into overtime. The scores were locked at 31 apiece, and it counted down to about 6 minutes to go before full time went. But there was a field goal that was taken by Philadelphia, and that gave them a 34-31 victory. As I said at the start, this season's just so unpredictable. So I'm anticipating actually a bit of a fight here from the Washington Commanders. They seem to ebb and flow from week to week. They went down 14-7 to their other rivals in the Giants last week, and that's really disappointing, man. Especially that they went to Atlanta the week before and pipped them there. So I'm expecting a fight back, a bounce back. But Philadelphia, man, I think with that victory and the way the results have gone this past weekend, I think they have once again solidified themselves as one of the two teams to beat, or just the team to beat in the NFC. So I'm going to go the Philadelphia Eagles 1-13. Next up, we got the New York Derby. How freaking good's that? On Sportsbet, the Jets, technically the away side at MetLife Stadium, they are $1.63, whereas the New York Giants, the home side, are $2.28. This will be just the 15th meeting between the two, and it's the Giants who lead the overall head-to-head at 8-6. This is the first derby since 2019, but the Jets have won the past two encounters, meaning the Giants have not defeated the Jets since 2011. And the biggest winning margin between these two clubs is 15 points. So there's never really a blowout. Only on one occasion in their history, a team has scored 40 points or more. And even then, the scoreline was only about 13 points, the difference on that occasion. So I do think that this will be close. I've got the New York Jets coming off the bye and just smothering this New York Giants offensive line. And I'm going to go the Jets to win this game 1-13. Now we're off to Acrisure Stadium to see the Pittsburgh Steelers host the Jacksonville Jaguars. This will be the 28th meeting between the two, and it's actually Jacksonville that have the overall head-to-head record at the moment by one victory. It's 14-13. On Sportsbet, we have got the Pittsburgh Steelers, the home side, sitting at we've got the Pittsburgh Steelers sitting at $2.25, and the Jacksonville Jaguars are $1.65. This is the first time they've met since 2020. That was in Jacksonville. Pittsburgh won on that occasion. Jacksonville have not defeated Pittsburgh Steelers since their famous 45-42 victory in the playoffs of 2017-2018. As a matter of fact, the Jacksonville Jaguars technically have won their past two visits to Acrisure Stadium. They have not lost at the venue since 2011. Pittsburgh Steelers getting the upset win against LA at SoFi Stadium, and the Jacksonville Jaguars winning a thriller against the New Orleans Saints away from home, winning for the first time in New Orleans. This again has got a danger game feel about it for the Jacksonville Jaguars, but this Jaguars side, I feel like if they can get a couple of more crucial away victories like this one this weekend, I really think they're going to go quite deep this year. There's just a really good feeling, and there's a sense of, I don't know, like, I don't want to say destiny, but like there's something about the Jacksonville Jaguars, man, this year where it feels like luck might be on their side. So I'm going to go the Jacksonville Jaguars to win this game 1-13. Dallas Cowboys host the Los Angeles Rams from AT&T Stadium, and on sportsbet.com.au, the Cowboys are $1.35. The Rams are $3.25. This will be the 38th meeting between the Cowboys and the Rams, and the Cowboys are one win better, and the record is at 19-18. These two sides met last year and Dallas won. The year before, the Los Angeles Rams won. This is the first visit, however, to Dallas for the Rams since 2019. They have not won at the venue since 2017. As I mentioned a minute ago, the Rams, they went down to the Steelers in front of their home fans. I thought that should have been the victory that really put more confidence into everybody thinking that maybe this could be a wild card team in the NFC. And the Dallas Cowboys, I think they're coming off a bye or a win, but I think they got back on track the week before. I think. I'm going to go the Dallas Cowboys here. I'll say 14 plus, but not an extravagant 14 plus. But Dallas Cowboys in any event. Next, for the 126th time, we've got the Packers versus the Vikings, and this game is emanating from Lambeau Field. On Sportsbet, they can barely split them. The Vikings are $1.88 favourites. The Packers are $1.92. In the overall head-to-head, Packers lead the way at 65-57 with 3 ties in there as well. Minnesota have not won at Lambeau Field since 2020. But what the hell happened this past weekend? Them defeating San Francisco 49ers. Unbelievable upset. Unreal upset. And the Green Bay Packers going down by 2 points to the Denver Broncos. The Packers, there's a chance that they're going to finish up with maybe a top 5 draft pick, probably a top 10 draft pick as well. Yeah, Packers are in all sorts of danger, man, aren't they? Uh, and as far as choosing a winner in this one, it's a divisional rivalry game. The Vikings, how can you trust them? But the Packers, I've grown up with them being a champion side, so it's like the moment I know I tip against them, they're going to kick me in the balls and win. So for that reason, I'm going to tip the Packers. They're not going to go through the rest of the season only winning one more game. I reckon they're going to snare maybe two or three more, and I think it will come against their divisional rivals, the Vikings, in front of their home fans. I'm going to go the Packers, but I'm really trepidatious about it. Nissan Stadium is the venue for our next matchup. We've got the Titans versus the Falcons. On Sportsbet, you've got the Falcons as favourites at $1.76. The Titans are $2.07. This is the 16th match between the two franchises, and the Titans are one win better in the overall head-to-head, 8-7. This is the first time they've had an encounter since 2019. On that occasion, Tennessee won in Atlanta. For Atlanta, this is the first trip to Tennessee since 2015, and on that occasion, Atlanta won. As a matter of fact, technically, the last time Tennessee defeated the Falcons in front of their home fans at Nissan Stadium was in the year 2007. The Titans are coming off a bye, but before that, they did lose to the Ravens in London, whereas the Falcons, they lost in front of their home fans against the Commanders the week before. They travelled down to Tampa Bay and they nab a win against the Buccaneers. So the Falcons, definitely a much improved version in 2023 against the Titans, where you got no idea what side is going to show up. This side could win by 20 points against the Falcons. This is a really tough game to pick. The Falcons are they are coming into the game with a lot better form. But just the Titans at home really scares me into tipping the Falcons. So I'm going to tip the Titans because they're at home. And that's not me going light on the Falcons. Like, this side will punch you in the face if you're going to treat them disrespectfully, and it's not disrespect, but I'm gonna go the home side here, Tennessee Titans, to win a very, very close one, 1-13. Another divisional rivalry game awaits. This time it's from Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. The Dolphins versus the Patriots for the 117th time. The Dolphins have the record at the moment at 61-55. These two sides met earlier this year, and Miami won in a close contest in New England. New England, however, they have not won in Miami since the year 2019. So Dolphins, well and truly, are the bogey side versus the New England Patriots. On Sportsbet, the Dolphins, they're $1.19. The Patriots, they're $4.70. A real upset win, their second win of the year last week against the Buffalo Bills for the Patriots. And the Dolphins, they were in that game for about 3 quarters, and then they just faded away and fell to the might of the Philadelphia Eagles last weekend. I'm going to tip the Miami Dolphins to bounce back and get a win by 14 plus. From Lucas Oil Stadium, the Colts host the Saints. On sportsbet.com.au, it is the Indianapolis Colts who are coming into the game as $1.79 favourites. The Saints are $2.03. I do not mind that value immediately. It is the 15th time these two franchises have clashed, and it is the Saints who have the record at the moment at 9-5. This is the first time they've played each other since 2019. On that occasion, the Colts lost in New Orleans. As a matter of fact, since Super Bowl 44, where these two sides met on that fateful day, and the New Orleans Saints won, they've met 4 times, and the Colts have lost on 4 occasions, meaning that the Colts have not defeated the New Orleans Saints since the year 2007. They're on a 4-game losing streak to the Saints, and there's a chance. I give them a hope against the Saints. I really have no idea who's going to win this contest. The Saints nearly overrunning the Jacksonville Jaguars last weekend, and the Colts taking the Cleveland Browns all the way down to the wire, and they just weren't able to hold on for those for that last play of the game. Unfortunately for Colts fans, it depends how the Colts can bounce back from that. Is it going to be such a harsh loss that they may have just had their spirit broken with that loss, or are they going to come out and get the New Orleans Saints? It's a hell of a hoodoo that the Saints have got on them. I don't think I've tipped the Colts once this year, to be honest. And if I have, I apologize, but I'm going to choose Indianapolis Colts. I don't know why. I don't. New Orleans Saints, man, they're such a weird team, but I'm going to, not with a whole lot of confidence. I know there's value on the Saints. Oh, I got no freaking idea where I'm going with this one. This is hard, man. Oh, bugger it. I'm going to go the Indianapolis Colts. It's not following the value, but I got a feeling about the Colts. The Panthers and the Texans meet for just the 7th time in history. And on sportsbet.com.au, we have got the Carolina Panthers, who are winless so far in 2023, coming into the contest, sitting at $2.24. The Texans are $1.65 favourites. First time they've met since 2021, but Houston, they won the first 2 matches between the two. That was in 2003 and 2007. And they've met 4 more times since 2007, and they haven't won since then, which means that Carolina have the overall head-to-head at 4-2. The Texans, they're coming in as an upgraded version of themselves in 2023 based off of last year. Carolina, oh man, I didn't think that this would be their story. They'd be winless after 7 weeks. I didn't think this would be the case for them. This does scream. It's blaring out to me that this could be that upset win against someone like the Texans, who is still sort of down in the doldrums. But the Texans, man, they're playing really tough, committed footy. And unfortunately, Carolina Panthers fans, I'm going to have to tip the Houston Texans to win 1-13. We're off to Mile High Stadium for Denver versus the Chiefs. It's the 120th time they've met. Kansas City lead their overall head-to-head record. Kansas City, they've won 16 in a row versus Denver. The Chiefs 14 plus. From the University of Phoenix Stadium, we've got the Cardinals versus the Ravens for just the 8th time in NFL history. At the moment, the Ravens are 5-2 against the Arizona Cardinals. And on sportsbet.com.au, we've got the Arizona Cardinals sitting as outsiders, $4.30. The Ravens are $1.22. They last met in 2019 in Baltimore. The Ravens won on that occasion. The last time Arizona defeated Baltimore was in 2015, and that was in Arizona. But this is just the Ravens' second ever visit to Arizona, since the year 2003, So the last time that the Ravens won in Arizona was in the year 2003. They're a massive chance of breaking that for the first time in 20 years. And I'm going to trust them to do it because, damn, they were impressive against the Detroit Lions this past weekend. It's not quite game of the round, but I reckon it's just about the second best game of this weekend. It's my boys, the Seattle Seahawks, taking on the Cleveland Browns. On Sportsbet, the Seahawks are $1.59 favourites. The Browns are $2.36. And I've got to be honest, that's not bad value. That's actually pretty decent value on the Browns. This will be just the 20th meeting between the two franchises. Seattle lead the overall head-to-head record at 13-6. It's the first time they've clashed since 2019. Cleveland last defeated Seattle in 2011. The Browns have not won in Seattle since 1989. And I'm super concerned about our offense versus the Browns defense. It has to click this weekend. Hopefully DK Metcalf does return. Hopefully DK Metcalf does return in this game. But this Seahawks offense needs to click into a higher gear. up against this Cleveland Browns defense that we all know by now is one of the top 3 best defenses in football. But then again, they nearly absolutely butchered it in a high-scoring affair last weekend. I said they defeated the San Francisco 49ers 2 weeks ago now, the Browns. And I said in my tips last weekend, it's a must-win game for the Browns to get that dub over the Colts in Indianapolis. And the Browns did everything they could to lose that game, man. But the refs helped them out, and they were able to power their way through to score a touchdown with only seconds remaining on the clock. Yeah, man, the Browns defense I'm worried about. But hey, man, this Seahawks offense, bro, once they click, and we saw what Jake Bobo did last weekend too, I'm confident that the Seahawks can get the dub this weekend, but it'll be close, 1-13. This is the game of the round. The San Francisco 49ers are back at home for the first time in 3 weeks. They are hosting the Cincinnati Bengals, and this will be just the 16th match between the two franchises, and the 49ers are 13-4 versus the Cincinnati Bengals. On Sportsbet, 49ers are $1.37. The Bengals are $3.11. They last met in 2021. And San Francisco won on that occasion. As a matter of fact, the 49ers have won the past 2 encounters. Cincinnati last defeated the 49ers in 2015, and that was in San Francisco. So San Fran, they are definitely a bogey side versus the Bengals. The Bengals, they're back in form. They defeated the Seattle Seahawks, and I believe they had a bye this past weekend. Whereas the 49ers, they've hit the road for the past 2 weeks in a row, and they've come up with duck egg. I can't explain it. I really don't know why. Certain players did certain things in either of those games, so it's not something that you can really pinpoint. But I mean, Brock Purdy did throw, 3 or 4 interceptions in the loss to the Vikings today. I think Cincinnati will give 49ers a massive run for their money. But back in front of their home fans, I think the 49ers, they're just too good of a side. I know that they've lost 2 really, really strange games. But I think the 49ers are still huge contenders for the Super Bowl this year. And I'm going to tip them to get back on track against the Bengals, who they themselves are getting back on track. But I just don't think, I don't think it'll course correct more this weekend against the 49ers in Santa Clara. From SoFi Stadium, the Los Angeles Chargers versus the Chicago Bears. This game happens for the first time ever at SoFi Stadium. This will be the 14th match in history between the two. Chicago are 1 win better at 7-6. It's the first time these two sides have met since 2019, and on that occasion, the Chargers won by a single point against Chicago. And just to add a little bit more pain to the Bears, they've played 3 times at SoFi Stadium. They are 0-3. All 3 of those matches were up against the Los Angeles Rams when they were in their golden era. On sportsbet.com.au, we do have the Los Angeles Chargers at $1.21, the Bears at $4.45. I have no idea, and we'll get to them in a minute, but I have no idea how the Bears defeated the Raiders. I really don't, man. That full credit to the Bears, bro. Like they won convincingly against the Raiders, whereas the Los Angeles Chargers, that was a poor loss against the Kansas City Chiefs, unfortunately. And I think a head coaching change needs to happen. They need somebody else to come in and they need a harder, more smarter coach. They don't need a coach that's going to just allow them just to throw the ball around and play wild footy like that, man. Like they need someone else, bar Brandon Staley at the moment for the Chargers. But in saying that, on paper, they are a better side, so they should take care of business against the Chicago Bears, or are they going to Charger it up this weekend? I'm going to go the Chargers to win this game 1-13. And finally, we finish with Monday Night Football, or Tuesday morning football here in Australia. The Detroit Lions versus frauds, the Las Vegas Raiders. On Sportsbet, the Lions are $1.24. The Raiders are $4.10 outsiders. This technically is the first ever game between Detroit and Las Vegas. It's the first time the Lions have taken on the Raiders as Las Vegas. They last met in 2019 and the Raiders won on that occasion. That was in Oakland. It's 4 years ago, but it feels like a lifetime ago, doesn't it? It was their first win versus Detroit since 1996. Detroit last defeated the Raiders in 2015. So, yeah, the Raiders, they last defeated the Lions in 2019. But before that, it had been since the year 1996 since they had a victory over the Detroit Lions. The Raiders, yeah, they lost Garoppolo. I get that. But the Chicago Bears lost Justin Fields a bit through that game. The Bears, I mean the Raiders, they are up there with the Denver Broncos as one of those teams I just don't want to respect. They are, it's not like I even dislike them, but I'm just over their drama and I'm over their bullshit because they've got a team. I know Garoppolo isn't the answer, but they've got a real decent team around them, man. And just, they're another side that I think the head coach should be moved on at the end of this season. Whereas the Detroit Lions, yeah, they weren't going to go through their season with only one loss, of course. But the manner that they lost to the Baltimore Ravens last weekend was disappointing. Back in front of their home fans, I really hope that they can win this game by 20 points. I'm going to say the Lions can win this game by 20 points because damn this Las Vegas Raiders team all the way to hell, bro. Like, this team on paper should be doing so much better. But I'm going to go the Detroit Lions to win this game by 20 plus. Yo, that's it for me, guys. Thank you very much. It is a different video, but that's okay. I still just wanted to get out my tips, and I love talking NFL. So thank you very much for the continuous support, guys, and I'll see you in the next episode. Take care. Adios. Go Seahawks.